Will the virtuous Sangha, out of compassion, for the sake of this assembly and all living beings, please turn the wonderful Dharma wheel to teach and guide us how to end birth and death, leave suffering and attain bliss, and quickly realize non-birth. Cung thính đại đức tạng thính, vì thứ pháp hội cập nhật thiết chúng sanh. Thiên duyên diệu pháp luân giao đạo ngã môn, như há liêu sanh thoát thức ly khổ đắc lạc, tốc chứng vô sanh. Homage to the blessed, noble, and perfectly enlightened one. Nam mô Sanantuo Suche Doye Olahudi San Miao San Putosye. Nam mô Tạc Đắc Tha Tô Già Đà Già A La Ha Đế Tam Miệu Tam Bồ Đà Tòa. The unsurpassed, profound, subtle, and wonderful Dharma in 100,000 million aeons is difficult to encounter. Now that I'm able to see and hear, I will receive it and maintain it. I vow to fathom the thus come one's true and actual principles. Wu shang shang sheng wei miao fa bai jian wan jie nan zao yu, wo jin jie wen de shou chi yan jie ru lai zhe shi yi. All Buddhas and Bodhisattvas, Venerable Huineng, Venerable YongHua, Venerable Love Home people, and all good knowing advisors, Emitofuo. Chư Phật Bồ Tát, kính thưa lục tổ, hòa thượng Tiên Hóa, quý thầy cô và quý vị thiện tri thức A Di Đà Phật. Chư Phật Bồ Tát, Liêu Chủ, Sư Phụ, Sang Rần,各位出家人，各位上居士，阿弥陀佛。Hello, everyone. Today is the 14th of March, 2021. We are gathered at Wei Mountain Temple to continue discussing the sixth Patriarch Sutra. We are on chapter 9. On slide, do we know which slide? Anyone remembers? 70? Okay. Slide 70 it is. All right. Sutra Text. The master is like Vimalakirti, who pleaded illness in Vaishali. He spreads a great vehicle widely, transmitting the Buddha mind and discoursing on the non-dual Dharma.
师若净明，脱疾毗耶，阐扬大乘，传诸佛心，谈不二法。
All right. Who's speaking now? Anyone remember? Oh, yeah. This is the Empress who wrote a pre-eulogy to the sixth patriarch. She's praising him. So on commentary slide number 71, the Empress Wu Zetian, the Chinese Empress, continue in her praise. She says the master is like Vimalakirti, who pleaded illness in Vaishali. Okay. The empress says the master said that he's too old and too sick to travel to the capital. But we know better. He simply pretend to be sick like Vimalakirti. Okay, which we might want to discuss that sutra one of these days, because it's fun sutra, and it's because Master YongHua disciples claim that Master YongHua wouldn't allow it to be published. So I said, if that's the case, we'll publish it. He had to stop me, not his disciples, okay? But so what happened is Vimalakirti was a transformation body of a Buddha. So he was an influential advisor to the kings, and he advised many, many kings. He's probably richer than most of the kings. No one will estimate how much he's worth, unlike Forbes 100 people nowadays list. So Vimalakirti, in the guise of advising the kings and the queens who came to him for help, and so he would teach them Mahayana. I teach them the right and wrongs and how to be a better ruler. Okay, in particular, he also taught many people who came to him for advices, and it turns out that he had the Shakyamuni Buddha's disciples were avoiding him. Because they were scared of him. When Vimalakirti taught the Arhats, disciples of Shakyamuni Buddha, he left a very deep impression to the point where the Arhats were frightened of him. Okay, so they stopped coming to him for advices. So what did he do? He had to pretend that he was sick. So he was, of course, circulating in the news that he was very sick, on his deathbed, okay, more or less, and so that people started coming to him to pay him a visit. That's very Buddhist. If you know of people who are sick, who are very, very sick, the decent thing to do, very Buddhist thing to do, is pay them a visit. Okay? In Chinese, it's called kan bing. To see the sick. Go see the sick. That's part of the Bodhisattva path. Actually, you take the Bodhisattva precepts, you must go see the sick as part of your precepts. Okay, so that's why Vimalakirti pretended to be sick. So all the true cultivators, what did they do? They had no choice but come and see him. Okay, but still, they knew they had to come and see him, go see him. But what did they do? They waited and waited and waited. Waiting for what? One day, Manjushri Bodhisattva decided to come and see him because it's part of his Bodhisattva path. Okay? So Manjushri Bodhisattva declared that he's going to solve a Rubik's Cube. I mean, not a Rubik's Cube. Go see Vimalakirti. Uh-huh. And so that's exactly what Shakyamuni Buddha's Arhat disciples were waiting. They said, in that case, let's go behind Manjushri. Okay, let's follow him. Let's not take the front. Let's not be a point man. If you're in the armed forces, anyone? Brady, you know what I'm talking about? Were you in real armed forces or were you only headquarters? Were you fighting like a samurai?
Correct. That's typical, I forget the name you call it, but you show respect to ranks above you anyway.
No, I'm asking you, were you in a fight, like a war?
Yes.
Were you actually killing people?
I was in a supply,
Supply.
a
That's different.
supply,
Logistics.
yeah, you could say that, yeah.
Yeah, nowadays it's called logistics. It's important as fighting. Okay, now they attack the supply lines instead of attacking the main forces. They attack and ambush the supply lines. Anyway, so like Manjushri was like a point man. He's going to be shot at first. He's going to die first. Okay, so Shariputra, Mahamoggallana, they're all lined up behind Manjushri. So that's why. But that's exactly what Vimalakirti wanted. He wanted them to show up, and he would pick them apart and say, "You, and you, and you," and so forth. So it's kind of a fun sutra. Okay, but that's what Vimalakirti is doing. He pretended to be sick. He was not sick at all, but he pretended to be terminally ill. Okay? So they had to go come and see him and comfort him and say, it's going to be okay. It's only cancer stage 4. It's not so bad, and so forth. And so that's what the 6 Patriarch, the Empress is equating the 6 Patriarch to Vimalakirti. So it's a very high praise. She really honored him. They say everyone knew that Vimalakirti is a Buddha. So this Empress says, he's about the same as a Buddha. You see? He has the same conduct. Okay? And it turns out, okay, if you want to cross over living beings, if you want to help living beings, whether by teaching them Chan meditation, whether it's about reciting Buddha's name, whether it's about mantras, they all share a common thing. All these teachers, all these great teachers, they share a common thing. They need to use what? The indispensable tool in their toolbox. What is that? Yes, Green.
Skill in means?
Skill in means, absolutely. Okay? You want to teach living beings, you need to have skill in means. You need to use expedience. Okay? So that's what they had to do. Vimalakirti had to pretend to be sick. The 6 Patriarch had to pretend he is old and sick and weak and so forth. That's part of teaching. And the Empress, she said that, I get it. Huh? You only using an expedient to tell me something. Okay? So, and then she continues. He says, he spreads the great vehicle widely, transmitting the Buddha mind and discoursing on the non-dual Dharma. Great in great vehicle should be capital. Okay? He spreads the great vehicle widely. Okay. Now the Empress says, this eminent monk called 6 Patriarch, he's been propagating the great vehicle widely. Okay? she's aware of that. How? By teaching the Dharma, right? And by training his disciples. So the sixth patriarch explained the Dharma, and at the same time he trained his disciples and sent them all over Asia. Okay? So that's what she meant by widely. Okay? She gave them the knowledge by explaining sutras. Okay? He also trained them to help them open the wisdom and then send them away so that they go in all directions to teach Mahayana. Transmitting the Buddha mind. What is transmitting the Buddha mind? What is transmitting the Buddha mind? Yes, green again.
Waking people up, or maybe teaching the Dharma.
No. Anyone else? You don't know what transmitting the Buddha mind? You don't? Come on. Korea. What is transmitting the Buddha mind? Me. You ought to know. Come on, Sunims, tell me. Okay, Korea struck out. How about where can we go now? Brazil. Jewel Mountain has an answer.
The Jewel Mountain's answer is the mind seal.
The mind seal. What is this mind seal? Yeah, green.
Well, I was going to say sudden enlightenment.
Sudden enlightenment, okay. What about Jewel Mountain?
Jewel Mountain says it's a Dharma transmission.
Dharma transmission. Okay? Okay, it's all textbook information. All right, that's not incorrect. But can we put it in layman terms so that everyone understands without any doubt what it really means? The Chinese, I find the Chinese teaching to be too poetic, if you will. Okay? We are in a Dharma ending age. We cannot leave room for misinterpretations, because this is how they distort our Dharma. Let's speak it plainly, in plain terms, so that everyone understands what it is. Okay? YouTube answer.
Daniel says it is the sudden teaching.
The sudden teaching. No, not the sudden teaching. Yes, White.
Hiểu theo tâm ấn là cái vị sư đó chỉ cho người học trò thấy cái chân tâm của họ, và người cái vị sư đó xác nhận là mà mày đã thấy rồi.
Okay.
Họ ở đâu, và vị sư đã xác định là cái người học trò đã thấy được.
I think the teacher showed the student where is the true mind and confirm that the student already see that.
Okay, go first.
I think it's train the next generation of patriarchs and enlightened disciples.
Okay, you got the idea. Let me put it plainly for you. What this patriarch is doing is critical for Mahayana. Okay? It's critical. This is how Buddhism prospered. And this is the thing. Back then, okay, in China, the sixth patriarch appeared in the world, and what did he do? He trained his people, and then he says, I transmit the Buddha mind to you. Meaning that he trains them in the Chan techniques, first of all. Transmitting the Buddha mind, meaning teaching, recognizing the mind, seeing the nature. Okay? That's what it means. Okay? And not only did he teach Chan, he also certified that this particular individual, I certify that you are enlightened. I am a patriarch, he says. I'm the sixth patriarch. I am the authority on Chan. And therefore, I recognize you as a Dharma vessel, meaning that you are enlightened. That's very, very important. In this era of ours, okay, you don't find enlightened people who are certified by the patriarchs, do you? How many of you know are enlightened people who teach Chan, who were certified by the patriarchs? Not too many, yes? That's what happened back then in the times of Wu Zetian, Empress Wu Zetian. At that time, there were so many Chan masters who were certified by the sixth patriarch. The last known enlightened teacher that we know in our country was Master YongHua. Yes? Very high level. Okay? And he trained the next generation, and I gave you some of the names already. Okay? Some of them are enlightened. And in particular, you know, the bowing monk, for example, is enlightened. As per his words, not me, okay? My words mean nothing, are not worth much. That's reality, okay? But he also certified, designated the second American patriarch already, 25 years ago, 26 years ago. He did that. And that patriarch is still alive and kicking. Okay? So that's what's important, is that these patriarchs need to, number one, train the next generation for them to become enlightened. Number two, certify, because the enlightenment is between him and his pupils. They know each other, but we don't know them, do we? So that's why he has to say, I certify this individual as a Chan master. So that you and me, when we want to learn Chan, we go to these teachers who are certified. We know we learn proper Chan, not just anything that you pick up from the books. That's the nature of the Chan school. That's a Chinese tradition. And so my master, Master YongHua, brought us to this country. He brought the Chan, that very Chan, to this country, and he certified people. Okay, so going back to the text, Empress Wu Zetian Real says, see, this woman, this lady here is very, very wise. She's a superior individual. She knew that Buddhism is such an important part of the depth of the Chinese culture. That's why she researched and studied Mahayana herself and sent her officials to go and study Mahayana and bring it back to her, report back to her. This empress here is superior ruler. Okay? That's why she's so famous. She's so very famous and influential in the Chinese culture, history and culture. So she said, she recognized that the sixth patriarch contribution is humongous. He trained people and certified them. So now the Chinese back then could go and learn from these teachers. Okay? So far, so good? And that's why, you see, the Chan school is the most important vehicle for transmission of Mahayana in Buddhism. Why so? All you have to do is compare, for example, to the other schools. Let's take Pure Land School. Some of you are Pure Land individuals, believers. The Pure Land School, how do we know that your Pure Land teacher is enlightened? How do you know? You don't. You don't at all. All you have right now, and back then as well, is the fact that the teacher, the monk, the nun, has a lot of followers, has a big temple. That's it. That's all you know. In contrast, the Chan school says this is a Chan master. He's certified to understand Chan, to know Chan, therefore you learn the proper Chan from him. That's why, because of that system, Chan school flourished in China. Because it saves time, think about it. We want to learn Chan meditation, we go to these bona fide, these qualified schools. Just like today, we want to learn, for example, business administration. And you go to schools like Harvard, like what else do you have? Stanford, and so forth. You know these places are certified, are recognized as experts. They have experts in the field, all right? So you don't waste time. Folks, when you learn something, okay, the initial learning, your initial knowledge is so critical in your development. It's like building a house. You need to have a proper foundation. Okay? So when you go to these places, these great schools and universities and places, okay, then you learn the proper stuff. Okay? Whereas, that's what we have in the Chan school. However, in the other schools, we don't have that kind of system. You see now why in Mahayana, Chan, every single patriarch is a Chan expert. They all know Chan. They're also very good in Chan meditation. They also were certified. So far, so good? This is a problem because, for example, today, Master YongHua, okay, is a level. If he's a high-level Chan master, then he is also a high-level Pure Land master. No two ways about it. Once you understand Chan, You also understand Pure Land, you also understand secret school and so forth, and teaching school and Vinaya. Is that clear? His level is so high that you cannot get up there and not understand all these schools as well. So far, so good. Okay? So he's actually, eventually, I will make this prediction, in the future, he'll be recognized as the Pure Land Patriarch after Master Xu Yun. I'm willing to bet you $20 that's the case. Any takers? I'm warning you, you're going to lose. I give you 2-1. Las Vegas odds. Not funny, you know. The Koreans don't find it funny at all. Yeah. See, they all look, this is too American humor. Okay. Okay. So that's what happened. So during those times, Buddhism flourished because of thanks to the Chan school. Okay, and it still is the case today. Today, you still have the Chan school, and that's why you want to learn Chan meditation. You're better off go learn from a certified teacher. Okay. Same thing in Pure Land Buddhism. You want to learn Pure Land Buddhism, you better off learning from a certified teacher, a teacher who's enlightened. This morning in a Dharma talk, when the Koreans were sleeping and resting, we talked about, in Korea, there is a second ground Bodhisattva. There was a second ground Bodhisattva by the name of YongHua Sunim. YongHua Sunim. He's an enlightened teacher, and he taught Pure Land Buddhism. So the people who learned from him, who came to him to learn Pure Land Buddhism, okay? My gut feeling is that a very high proportion of them will make it to the Pure Land. Yes, they still are in, arhats and second stage arhats and third stage arhats and so forth. It's not a big deal in Mahayana. However, because he learned how to recite the Buddha's name, because they got there by reciting the Buddha's name, my gut feeling is that they'll go to the Pure Land. You don't, as a second ground Bodhisattva, come to this world and teach Pure Land and not make that happen for your disciples. That's my belief, based on no proofs. Okay, just my big mouth. Yes, Purple.
Thank you, Master. I have a question in regards to the second patriarch, who has been appointed by Great Master Shenhua.
Yes, anointed.
Anointed is the right term, thank you. So, of course, we don't know what the thinking is behind not showing one's face for over 25 years. However, how can you be a patriarch and then not do your job?
Ooh.
I mean, isn't, like you're saying right here, what Master Huineng did, right? He spread the great vehicle widely, transmitting the Buddha mind, right? So, of course, we don't know what patriarchs do, but might the second patriarch ever show his face someday? Thank you.
I'm looking at our, what do you call that? Color glasses? See, this Alzheimer thing is not helping my lectures. Thank you. Thank you very much. 감사합니다. Okay, the stained glass thing there, where we have in our Wei Mountain Temple, where It's called The Questioning Jesus.
Thank you for bringing that up, Master.
Yeah, what is it called?
That actually is the picture of Jesus praying
Praying to
at
God?
the Mount of Olive. That's what it's called. It's
So-
right before the night before he's crucified.
So he asked God for help or
He's
direction,
asking,
guidance?
yeah, he's saying, if you can, like, don't make me do this. Basically, that's what he's doing. And he's
Wow.
asking, I don't want to do this, please. Get me out of here.
Ooh.
But then what happens is that
God
an
didn't come.
angel appeared
And she, angel,
and comforted the poor Jesus, kind of like, gave him some wine and said, hey,
drink up, man. Don't worry.
yes, suck it up.
How cute. I'm sure Daniel would disagree with it. Okay. So, for some reason, controversy follows me everywhere I go. Okay, and people have to provoke me to ask by asking questions. Okay, I'm not a second patriarch. It's clear. I wish I were. Okay. No, I don't. I'm yellow. I'm perfectly happy being Vietnamese, okay, and not a patriarch. Okay, it's not worth the trouble. You ask me. So much work and no rewards. I'm a reward kind of person. Okay, where is a carrot? Okay. My thinking used to be that I said, say, come on, second patriarch, do your job, okay? Because I'm running out of things to talk about. But actually, when you think about it, okay, and this you have to give them credit for it. There's some spies here. One right here today, and another one online who listens to this as well. Okay, so they report back to the second patriarch themselves. Okay, so be careful. They have your photos, our photos. Know where we live. Okay? So be careful. Okay, now, so I, as of today, am of this belief. Okay, that actually he's very clever. He's teaching by not teaching. You figure it out. You see, we have more time. We have more time to discuss this. But the point here is that he's a patriarch, so he knows what he's doing. A lot more than you think. Okay? Okay? Let him be. Yeah. Okay? We have better things to worry about. We're not patriarchs. Who cares? Okay. So going back to slide 71, the Tian Guo YouTube comment. Go ahead, Daniel.
Daniel says, no, he is praying for the sins of others.
How do I know? Yes, good boy. Okay, and slide 71, discoursing on the non-dual Dharma. This Empress is so smart. She's so savvy, so knowledgeable. Okay, she says, he mentioned non-dual Dharma. Non-dual Dharma is Mahayana. Okay? For example, Buddhism and non-dual Buddhism. Okay, to simplify it, speaking in a very, very simplistic way. For example, meditation has meditation and non-dual meditation. Pure Land has Pure Land and also have non-dual Pure Land. Anyone heard of non-dual Pure Land? See? Even the spy was shaking her head. It's because your teacher only transmitted to you the regular or the dual Pure Land Dharma. He hasn't transmitted to you the non-dual Pure Land Dharma yet. Okay? So, and in order for us Americans here to make sure that the Chinese cannot make a claim on that, okay, we're going to have the non-dual Pure Land Dharma in the U.S. So far, so good? Okay. So that's what happened. That's what I noticed. Okay, this is very important. Chan, what is in Chan? What is regular Chan? It's basically Hinayana. Hinayana. It's not, Hinayana does not have non-dual meditation. Hinayana does not have non-dual teachings. So far, so good? You have to go to Mahayana before you understand what non-dual is. So far, so good? Okay. So non-dual is a Mahayana concept. Same thing. Pure Land is simply reciting Buddha's name right now. But they recite the Buddha's name, the simple method right there. Reciting the Buddha's name. Namo Emitofuo, Emitofuo, Amitabul. Whatever language you want to recite. Ayidafak. What about Russian? They don't have it in Russia. Never mind. Okay? So, you recite the Buddha's name the way that you're taught. Okay? Until it's time for you to be taught how to recite it the non-dual way. So that's what happened. My master taught them the spies and so forth. Just Chinese, dual, Pure Land. In America, hopefully in Korea, where our temples are, we bring you to non-dual Pure Land. Sounds good? So that why is it important? Can I tell you why it's important? Can I? You like to hear? Full lotus. Oh, wow. Look at that. Cool. Very good. Huh? Excellent. Why is it important? What's the big deal? What's in the name? Anyone? Yes, purple.
Master, does it have to do with the level or the grade in Pure Land?
Exactly. Exactly. Very good. If you learn dual meditation, how far can you go? Sound hearers level, Arhat Pratyeka Buddha. You cannot reach higher than that. Impossible. Yes, green.
Wouldn't the state of enlightenment be considered non-dual? Like
First round.
okay.
That's why YongHua Sunim, his second ground. Okay? So his Dharma, the Dharma he taught in Korea, is the Dharma of non-dual Pure Land. However, it's but a name. He is non-dual Pure Land. However, he did not train his disciples to be non-dual generation. You understand my point? The teacher might be non-dual Pure Land, but the students are not. That's not good enough. Just like in Chan school, the master is enlightened. So his job is to make sure that his pupils are enlightened as well. And then they can tell the whole world about it. Same thing in Pure Land Buddhism. Pure Land Buddhism, the master, like Master YongHua, is non-dual Pure Land. But his disciples are dual Pure Land, unfortunately. No. It's different things. You need to know how to train them. Just because you're non-dual doesn't mean you can help people become enlightened. It's not necessarily true. Is that clear? Okay. Can we move on or? Okay. So the great master, going back to slide 71, was discoursing on the non-dual Dharma. Discoursing on a non-dual Dharma, meaning he not only taught the non-dual Dharma, but he elaborated extensively on the non-dual Dharma. So far, so good. And that's how you help your pupils reach non-dual stages. If you are non-dual, you're enlightened, and your path of enlightenment this narrow, okay, you won't have that many people who can fit into that channel, that path. Master Hsuan is so wide that he had so many disciples reach the non-dual stages, enlightenment stages, at different paths. You understand? Because not everyone can afford to get a red car. I remember when I was a novice here in Los Angeles at my Vietnamese master's temple, I was riding buses everywhere I went. It's on buses. That's how I learned Spanish. Because the buses here in LA, I was the only yellow person. The rest of them spoke Espanol. Okay? So my analogy is that, for you to reach me, you have to, go to the bus station. Because I can't afford to go, to Tesla supercharging station. See the point? So it's off limits for people like us. Got it? That's why a teacher like Master Hsuan is a wonderful example. He had so many channels. He had Chan, he has secret school, he has Pure Land, he has teaching school, he has precepts. Not just Chan, not just Pure Land. He had so many ways to train spies. Yes, you too.
Daniel asks, what is non-dual Pure Land? how do you practice non-dual Dharma? Does it mean they are two Pure Lands?
No. Pure Land has only one kind. But there are different kinds of people inside the Pure Land. Inside the Pure Land, there are dual people and there are non-dual people in the Pure Land, all mixed together, like the New Orleans jumbo. Anyone been to New Orleans? They're known for their, what is it known? Gumbo. Jambalaya. God, you guys are so uncultured. All you know is California, Rosemead, that's it. Ugh. Yeah. Boring. I hope you grow up, young man, not to be boring as these adults. Okay? Can we make a deal? Huh? We do Rubik's Cube, and then after that, after what do we do after Rubik's Cube? Huh? Help me out. Huh? Chess? Chess. Chinese chess. Huh? Learn Chinese chess. Go. Huh? Indian chess. It's a lot of good, cool things. And then you learn how to hack into the FBI system. When you get a little bit older, no hurry. Talk to Xintong. Okay, when we speak Dharma for everyone. You notice that. So on this Pure Land, non-dual Pure Land Dharma, okay, the non-dual refers to your wisdom. Okay, the wisdom, by reciting the Buddha's name, you open your wisdom. Okay. And your wisdom, by reciting the Buddha's name, can help you bring to the level of non-duality, if you will. Okay? But once you're enlightened, you go to the Pure Land. All the dual people and non-dual people, they're all mixed up, like, as I said, the New Orleans gumbo. Okay? Okay? Or the French bouillabaisse. Anyone been to bouillabaisse? Huh? No, not bouillabaisse. You English-speaking people are weird. It's called bouillabaisse, no bouillabaisse. You're butchering the great names. Bouillabaisse. Well, you get the fish, you get the shrimp, and you get the lobsters, and and you put them together, you mix them up, you add the peppers and the onions. Oh, a little bit of red wine. Oh, heavenly. And of course, it evaporates. Alcohol evaporates, so it's safe to drink, to eat it. Anyway, so that's so the great master discoursed on the non-dual Dharma, meaning he explained it in so many ways to so many people at so many different levels. It's so cool. This is one of the highest praises coming from an empress. You see, when I read this, I say, wow, this empress is so cool. I'd like to have, I wish our presidents are like this. Can you think of an American president who can write something like this? In history of the United States of America, Brady. You think of anyone who's capable of having this level of wisdom and knowledge about what's important for the country, what's important for mankind, what's important for the prosperity of the country?
Probably
what's important for fighting a pandemic?
Probably not to the extent that it's necessary, but potentially. There's been great people that have been presidents of the U.S. and
like who?
Well, Roosevelt, Washington, Jefferson, then it depends more on what you're looking for in a president. Good leader was Eisenhower, Jimmy Carter, but too many people disliked him and were prejudiced against him being from Georgia as a peanut farmer.
Well, it's kind of hard because of people like Daniel to become presidents. They only vote Christian or Catholic, never Buddhist. That's a problem in our country. Okay? Yeah. All right. Any questions or comments? Doesn't matter. We don't need to be presidents, folks. We need you to learn and be more knowledgeable about Mahayana so that everywhere you go, you have your own sphere influence about goodness, about what's right and wrong, about decency, integrity, loyalty, filial piety. Those are, if we're able to do that, then that's our contributions. We don't need to be president. This is why democracy is so wonderful. You don't need to be a president. And yet we can influence and guide the country. Okay? So, as I said, I repeat for you again. I would like to have more babies. You laughing. But more babies. Okay? Why? You disagree? Get started. I want more babies raised in Mahayana. Okay? Or we can kidnap from the Christian babies and Catholic babies, put them in our orphanages. You have to think big, people. And then after that, we send them to Pure Land. All of them. You like that? Okay. Yeah. Okay. We have to think big. Okay? Since we are outnumbered by the Christians and the Catholics, let's make more babies. The Catholics are reducing their production. We're increasing our production. Oh, just kidding. Not funny. The San Jose people were so serious. Look at them. And the Korean, look at the Koreans. No one is laughing. Good Lord. And the Koreans, I'm told by Sanguk Sunim that the birth rate in Korea is 0 to 1. Can you imagine? You are from 0 to 1. Make more babies, Koreans, please. 4. Please make 4. We need a lot of catching up. We have a lot of catching up to do. 4 babies. Yeah, train them into full lotus. Oh, look, this young man here. How old are you? Huh? How old is he? He sits in full lotus. That's Mahayana material right here. Mahayana. You know? If you sit in full lotus, you are Mahayana materials to me. Okay? All right. Can we move on? Enough controversy for today. Okay? 4. Okay, 72. Koreans are so serious. Good Lord. Jewel Mountain has a comment.
Jewel Mountain says, it's because it's expensive to have children in Korea nowadays with the education and stuff.
Send them to the US. You guys are so selfish. I'm talking about having babies for the future. So we all have to make sacrifices. Okay? Having children is to make sacrifices. And that's Mahayana. Okay? It hurts, huh? YouTube has a question. Why 4?
Tian Guo asks, was any of the presidents of the US a bodhisattva, enlightened, or a heavenly lord or being?
Not that I know of, unfortunately. I wish. Okay? So that's why, just between us, okay? Master Shewa says, in the future, he made a prediction. Some of his disciples will become presidents. I said, hey, hallelujah, amen. Okay, we need more Buddhist presidents. Okay, or prime ministers, or governors, or representatives, or senators, or attorney generals. Okay? That's why 4, one of each. Okay. 72, Sutra Text. Xue Jin has conveyed the master's instruction, the knowledge and vision of the Tathagata.
削减传师指授如来之见。
Commentary 73. Now she's pushing it. Okay? This woman is very smart. I don't like this part. Okay? I like the private part. It's very good. But this part here is political. Don't like it. Even empress, why do you have to be political? Come on, Wu Zetian, have some spine. She said, Xue Jin has conveyed the master's instruction. She's praising Xue Jin, who is her confidant. Xue Jin is a very erudite person and apparently opened his wisdom because of Master Huineng's teaching. Okay? And so he went back to the capital city and reported gave a report to the empress, and that's why she said Xue Jin has conveyed the master's instruction. Okay, no such thing. Why not? Yes.
Because even if he's enlightened, nobody can really be compared to Master Huineng.
Okay. Q&A.
The instructions are just between the master and disciple. It cannot be conveyed by a third party.
It's not possible because all the empress did was invite him to the capital. And he basically said, no, way. I'm too old. You're unreasonable. You don't do that to me. Okay? So he gave her no instructions. So for her to say that Sui Jin conveyed the master's instruction is wrong because he never intended to convey her any instructions. Why not? I'm sorry, please don't take this wrong, Daniel. Because what? Come on. Because she's a woman. You understand? No, you don't. Let me explain to you. Because she's a woman, she has to ask proper way before he answers her. He cannot just say anything. Okay? There is a certain protocol between men and women in Buddhism. For women to come to the monk and ask a question, it has to be a certain protocol. Otherwise, the monk cannot say anything. Did you know that? Okay? So what happened is that Wu Zetian never really asked the Dharma from Venerable Hui Neng. Why would we say send her instructions? That's not possible. You see that? That this woman here was embellishing the things. But for us professionals, say, come on, cut it out. That's not possible. You see that? For us professionals, no way. No way that he would give her any kind of instructions at all. Okay? On the other hand, even if he gave him instructions, can Sui Jin convey his instructions? If Sui Jin conveys Master Hui Neng's instruction, it's like passing an almost empty cup of tea. That's all he's able to do. I'm sorry, don't get me wrong again, okay? Would you trust an eunuch to convey the entire message? I know I'm being controversial again. Control yourself, okay? You understand? There's a humor behind it. There's humor, but there's a truth behind it. You understand? Sui Jin is in no position to convey messages. That's my point. All right? Yeah, bye-bye. It's okay. You guys, give it time. Give it time. Let it sink in. Sleep on it. Make more babies. Yes, Green.
Sui Jin wasn't a monk or anything, was he? He was just like
He's an official.
So,
Actually, he's a very powerful official. He bends the emperor's ears.
So
you don't mess with him.
How did he get enlightened?
Through Master Hui Neng's teaching. That's how ingenious Master Hui Neng was. Within a short span of conversation, he taught Sui Jin, and Sui Jin became enlightened. It's incredible. You know, it's just, can I tell you this? You have to be there. All we're doing is reading this thing here. Oh, Master Hui Neng says, Sui Jin says, Master Hui Neng says, Sui Jin says. But there's a lot more going on between that. You know, there is the transmission lines. There is, you know, I don't. Okay? So it's a lot more going on. How it's done, and the timing, and the body language and a lot more going on that can be conveyed or transcribed on black and white. That's not possible. You have to be there. That's why the Chinese are very, very wise. They tell their children, you go there. I don't care how far it is. I don't care how much time it takes. Okay? Don't complain to me it takes 45 minutes to drive to the temple. It takes 45 days just to drive to the temple. Because at one moment right there, where Master Huineng gave Sui Jian 5-10 minutes worth of conversation, and he became enlightened. That's incredible. That's a kind of skill that you don't see anymore, folks. Not my masters. Let me tell you bluntly right now. My master cannot do that. How do I know? Master Huineng taught me once. I'm still using it. Once. That's it. That's all I could afford. I am poor. Why do you see I'm like this? All my blessings went for that. 1 minute. That's it. All the blessings I have is gone. Now, you see, I'm working to recover. Okay? To recuperate my blessings. Less than 1 minute. Done. Okay? So don't follow me. I'm very poor. I have nothing left. I spent it all already. It's like you win the super lotto and you spend it in 30 seconds. Stupid. All of it. Jeez. Yeah. The knowledge and vision of the Tathagata. This is from the books. The knowledge and vision of the Tathagata. What do you know about knowledge and vision of the Tathagata? You see, I got afflicted because these people use big words and they don't know what they're talking about. Okay? It's confusing to me. Okay? Can we move on? Okay. It's very negative today. Alzheimer's again. 74, Sutra Text. It must be due to accumulated good acts, abundant blessings, and good roots planted in former lives that we now have met with the Master when he appears in the world and have certainly been enlightened to the supreme vehicle.
施正积善于庆，树种善根，执师出世，顿悟上圣。
75 commentary. And he says, oh, I know this is how all the Chinese talk. He said, it's because I have accumulated good acts. Okay? 积善于精善根. 精 here, acts, is it 精 here translated into acts, really? Chinese people, help me out here. I'm trying to see what the original Chinese text.
The shan is good acts in here. Ji is accumulate. Yu is abundant. Qing is blessing.
Qing is blessing. Shan is shan.
Good acts.
No. That's why I have a problem with this translation. I would translate it differently, if I may. Okay? I would say it must be due to accumulated goodness. No acts. Goodness includes acts and non-acts. Let me explain. Goodness, a good act would be sitting full lotus for 2 hours during a lecture. That's a good act. Okay? So far, so good? You do something. You actually are doing. It's an act. What about goodness? That's non-act. Can you give an example of what's goodness that's not an act? I just asked you. What? I keep on stressing it. Today, twice already. I feel like compelled to stress it a third time. What's goodness? That's not an act. Wanting to have 4 babies. Okay? It's just the goodness in your heart doesn't need to come out. The goodness sometimes is better when it's hidden, then no one sees it. No one is aware of it. If goodness has to come out as an act, it's low-level goodness. Okay? It's like filial piety that the Asians know about. It's the goodness in your heart towards your parents, towards your mother, towards your father. It's in your heart. No one knows. And occasionally they see something. They see, oh, she's giving him a cup of tea with so much love. Oh, you see, that's one moment right there that comes from the whole world of goodness that's in the heart. You know? Or like a husband bring his wife to gelato after lecture and say, honey, I like being with you. So I'm stretching it a little bit longer. That's friends, way young people. We are international way young. Okay? Never mind. Okay. So, accumulated goodness, okay? Abundant blessing and good roots planted in former lives, okay? So this is the official line from the Mahayana people, the Buddhist people who said, oh, good thing happened to me because I planted good roots in the past. I have good roots. It was planted in the past. And because of that, I have a lot of blessings, abundant blessings, okay? And this empress went a little bit further. It says, goodness. So she's actually very, very wise, mind you. She's very wise. She said, this goodness in the heart that matters more than what you can observe out there. Daniel earlier asked about dual and non-dual. What is non-dual Pure Land Buddhism? Okay? The non-dual is a part where it's invisible. The goodness is invisible. Amen. Okay? That now we have met with the Master when it appears in the world. Again, Buddhist line. It's a Buddhist typical phrase. And, and have certainly been enlightened to the Supreme Vehicle. Nonsense. Okay? How does she know? When he became suddenly enlightened to the Supreme, suddenly enlightened, first of all, was she there? Did he say? Did the sixth patriarch ever say that he suddenly became enlightened to the Supreme Vehicle? Never. If he became enlightened, Wu Zetian would be the last person to know. Why? Why not? Why would she be the last person to know? Yes, purple.
Because of her ego.
No. Because? Come on. In the future, when you become enlightened, I'm preparing you for you when you become enlightened. You know that you would never tell Wu Zetian. Because she has too much money. And that's the disadvantage of being rich. If you're rich, enlightened people don't want to go near you. They go to New Orleans, have fried chickens, but they would not go see you. Okay? Enlightened people would prefer to stay away from you. Right? So she wouldn't know. And then so she wouldn't be enlightened. She wouldn't know that Master is enlightened, but suddenly enlightened, how does she know? And it's nonsense. She's talking to the Supreme Ego. Okay, so this is just a Chinese Empress talk. Okay? Next. 76. I'm getting nervous, because there's not much text left. And I don't know what to do after this. We're having so much fun together. And look at your eyes. Oh, really? Really? I have nothing else to give you after this. It's so cool. This sutra is one of the coolest sutras that we've studied together. Huh? Look at that. Oh, Chip, look at Chip. They say, oh, and they say, I like this lecture so much. Oh, yeah, which part do you like? Sutra Text. We are extremely grateful for his kindness, which we receive with bowed heads, and now offer in return a Nam Mo Na robe and crystal bowl as gifts.
感贺师恩，顶戴无已，并奉摩那袈裟及水晶钵。
So Master YongHua says in the commentary in slide 77, he says, this cheap Chinese empress gave the master expensive robe made of Korean cloth, which has been sent as tribute to the empress. How does he know these things? Master YongHua is something else. Is it written anywhere? It's like he said to him, oh. So now his disciples are doing, oh. Okay. So anyway, so the rope here, the Mona rope, is a rope where you cut these things here. You know, a lot of small squares, not a cheap one like mine. There's a lot of small things, squares. Okay, so it's called patchwork rope, and with Buddha image embroidered in each patch. So each square here, each rectangular thing has a Buddha image. Wow, that's cool. I'd rather spend money on the lesson. 78, Sutra Text. We order the magistrate of Shaozhou to rebuild the temple buildings and convert the master's former dwelling place into a temple to be called Guo Yin, country's kindness.
敕韶州刺史修饰寺宇，赐师旧居为国恩寺。
Okay, so she ordered the local official to rebuild the temple buildings. Okay? This is what the people in power, the people who have money, should be doing. Okay? This is what emperors and presidents are supposed to be doing without being asked. Okay? So this is how you show support. She showed support. She rebuilt the temple buildings, meaning maintenance. Maintenance. I'm supporting the temple. Right? And convert the master's former dwelling place into a temple to be called Guo Yin. I don't know his former dwelling places. Okay, but anyway, she built. She repaired and the old buildings, okay, that it need to be repaired, and then she built a new building for the master, okay, and turned that into a temple, okay. That's how you benefit your country. Do you understand? This is what happened back then. When a governor of a ruler does that with the funds of the nation benefits. Instead of, so the nation is making sacrifices. Instead of building using those funds for other things, they had, okay, I'm going to pinch here, pinch there, so that I take the funds here to offer to Mahayana. And because of that sacrifices that the country makes through its rulers, the country will prosper. Ancient Chinese wisdom that we U.S. has to learn. We have to learn. That's why wise rulers matter. So, may I have a slight modification to my request? Remember number 4? We talked about 4? Of the 4 people have the wish that they'll become rulers. And one of them is bound to become a ruler someday. And that's how you benefit greatly the country. It takes doing, folks. It's not just talk. We are only talking. After this, we need to do something. Do what? You like? Look at those babies. Aren't they cute? All right. It's so cool. This has so many beautiful lessons. Yes, Orange.
Mô Phật và Thầy, cái câu này cũng rất là hay. Giống Việt Nam á, Đại Nam á, nó giàu tới mà nó cắt một cái chùa Lực Lạc ở Việt Nam, làm lên một cái lịch sử rất là ấy. Giống mấy người giàu đó có nên làm như vậy để cho sau này, để cho người ta nhìn, người ta ngối
Absolutely.
nối tiếp để làm. Chứ ở Mỹ này mình thấy người ta giàu cũng quá xá lịch lạc mà người ta phung phí người ta ấy. Người ta không biết làm một cái chuyện này để làm một cái lịch sử lên để cho người ta sau này người ta nối theo. Cái đó là cái câu đó cũng rất là hay.
Good spy.
Nó cắt một cái nhà chứ bằng mấy tỷ để khoe khoang thôi, uổng quá. Chứ phải biết lập lên chùa để cho người ta sau này người ta biết bố thí, biết này biết kia, nói gương để theo nó thì quá là tốt. Bởi vì uổng mấy người giàu ở đây đó, uổng quá chừng. Mô Phật.
Master, I know like in Vietnam there's a person named Đại Nam, very rich, and then they built a huge temple for Vietnamese people, and then I think like that's one of the good thing that can go into the history, and then it will be a good example for people look into it, and then they can follow, they can learn how to make offering, make a donation, because like in the US here, a lot of people are very rich, but then they don't know how to do that. They are just boasting about they're rich, but they don't know how to do big things that can go into the history.
Listen, we're talking about a very small amount of money from Wu Zetian. He repaired the temple buildings. He built a new thing called a temple called Guo Yin, country's kindness. Okay, it's not a lot of money, but it shows wisdom. Again, because of the sacrifices of these funds being used up for religious purposes, okay, the country will gain those blessings itself. Similarly, what Guo Yin was talking about is, as individuals, you're not a president. Okay? Let's say she's talking about this rich merchant, this rich businessman, tycoons. Okay? They spend money to build a temple and so forth. Okay? And because of that, it will benefit a lot of people who will get a chance to go to a way place and pray to Yin, pray to the Buddha. Okay? Maybe recite the Buddha's name or meditate and get great benefits. Because of that, their families don't have used those funds for building the temples. And because of that, the merits from these temples, the goodness generated from these temples, go to their children. You see that? That's called cause and effect. That's how you leave a good legacy and you leave a wonderful inheritance for your children, for next generation. That's wisdom, folks. Yes, Green.
Thank you, Master. What if you don't have children? Where does the blessings go?
If you don't have children, okay, then similar rationale. The money you have, the assets you have, are for your beloved wives. Use. Wives or wives? Did I say wives? Okay. Yeah, I have to be. It's Alzheimer's. Excuse me. The point here is that the money that your family and you and your family are supposed to enjoy and benefit from, you make sacrifices by giving it away for good causes like charity causes, building temples and so forth. Those are good causes. Okay, then the people who suffer losses will directly get the benefits of those acts of goodness, multiplied by a huge number, huge number. Okay, that is their assets for forever until they use it. Forever. Okay? YouTube has a question.
Tian Guo asks, people have Mahayana blessings or worldly blessings like all the rich in the world. How do we make sure or practice planting our Mahayana blessing rather than worldly blessings?
Excellent. These blessings, they are dual. The blessings, they are non-dual. What's the difference? Dual blessings are the blessings generated from dual acts of goodness. You see the logic? It's very simple. Buddhism is very, very simple-minded. Very stupid, you ask me. It's not complicated. You want dual blessings? Then give it to dual projects. You want non-dual blessings? Give it to non-dual projects. Meaning what? Let's be specific. Good thing he's not here. Let's say you want to give it to a church. What is that, dual or non-dual? Dual, yes? Right? Okay, very good. We agree on that. Okay. So the rest of the examples, you can do it for yourself, because otherwise, kỳ quá. You know, Vietnamese expression, kỳ quá. You know what it means? Modesty forbids me from saying anything. False modesty, if you will. Okay, got that? So, it's funny because I went to Korea 2 years ago, and I went to this temple, a big temple called Taehung. Yes? Taehung Sa. Taehung Sa, where I met Suwan Sunim. And he spent too much money on us. Okay, on his salary. And Taehung Sa, it's a big temple. It has, it has like the driveway into the main compound is like a mile long. It has rivers, it has landscaping, it has promenades. You can walk and look at the river Okay, so people would drive to the temple and stroll around. Buddhists come in, have their photos taken. It's a fantastic place. Okay, big temple. And apparently, the president, Korean president, President Moon, was there when he was staying there when he was preparing for his bar examination. So he's very well connected. Okay, and so he because of that, stay in the temple preparing for his exam. He passed the bar examination, and later he became president. And he's grateful, so he gave the temple $10 million. Okay, $10 million. You know, and I heard that, and my eyes are all dollar signs. 10 million, I cannot count quickly enough. $10 million. Okay. And so it's fascinating. How do I know? Because the Sunim there told me. He says, "Oh, the construction going on right there. We're building a new building." Why? I said, "Why? What is it for?" He says, "We're not sure yet, but we need to spend it. We need the money has to be spent on building a building." For building. So they built another building. And they have 10 buildings just as big, they're still empty. So they keep on building buildings and buildings and building and buildings. You see where I'm going? You give to that, it's a nice thing, okay, for the country. Okay? It's money from the country coffers. But what good does it do? That matters. That's why it's considered dual blessings. Okay? This empress here, she rebuilt the temple buildings without being asked. No petition. He says, remember we used to give you food and shelter when you needed it? No. She just said, out of admiration for this great Sangha, I will repair his buildings, his temple for him, okay? And then I will, to show my personal appreciation, build, transform his personal residence to a temple, like a monument, okay? So that people will know about it, about this great man, okay? Without being asked. Okay, number one. Number two, he supported financially, provided financial support to an enlightened being. He will use it for his work. You tell me. That's why this Wu Tian is a superior. Oh no. Wu Tian is really a superior Chinese ruler. You don't make him like that anymore. Okay? Fascinating to me. You learn so much from the history here, right there. Yeah. All right? Any questions or comments? Yes, Orange.
Vô Phật. Thầy, cái này bữa nay thiết cái này cũng rất là hay, rất là cho sau này để cho người ta nghe, để người ta học hỏi, người ta để tiếp tục. Giống mấy người giàu vậy đó, nó xài phung phí. Nghe nó một vị con gái của một vị tổng thống mướn một cái nhà một tháng 40.000. Tôi nói hả, giờ bao nhiêu? Nó 40.000 một tháng. Mình nói 4.000 rồi mình nghe lộn, nghe tới 40.000. Thì một tháng 40.000, nó phí quá chừng đi. Phải mà tạo được một cái nơi mà để cho tu hành, cái phước báo không biết lớn, biết bao nhiêu nữa. Đó. Mà không có như vậy đâu, người ta không nghĩ như vậy đâu. Mô Phật.
Master, whatever you lectured today is very good, and then people should listen and continue to learn, because nowadays the rich people, they are wasting a lot. I heard that the daughter of one of the president, she rents a house, $40,000 a month. At first I thought it's 4,000, but actually it's 40,000 a month. It's so wasting. If you use that money and then build a way place for people to cultivate, how much blessing it can create.
40,000. We can support 50 sanghas. No, if a month, 40,000 a month. That's what it costs. No, actually, a few hundred. I'm sorry, my math is, again, Alzheimer's. A few hundred monks and nuns. Oh well, not in my lifetime. Not interested. Yeah, it turns out that it takes people with beliefs and vision to be willing to invest for Mahayana without being asked. That's the only way it's going to happen. Okay? Because no one's going to ask Master, because Master Huineng didn't, so we can't ask that now. He set the bar. He said, for remodeling and for building a small building, we can't even ask, let alone try to build, a complex of 100 acres. You see that? So it's not, so this is why we need to educate people on this vision of and this knowledge about dual and non-dual investments. Same thing in your mind when you practice. Are you creating dual blessings or non-dual blessings? Okay? All right. Is time up? I see a lot of people coming in. Okay, you have a few more minutes. Oh, it's the end? I warn you. The end of chapter 9. That's it. One more chapter left. That's it, folks. After this, we move to Korea. One more chapter and that's it, right? The last chapter, chapter 10. All right. Then we might as well stop here. Have any questions, anyone? Huh? The point is very important. Point today, besides 4, okay, is that it's your job to volunteer and choose to make sacrifices for your future generations. It's not us. Okay? Monks and nuns are not supposed to go around and ask. Okay? We can't. Then you have to decide for yourself. Okay? And you're investing in your children's, the future for your children, grandchildren, great grandchildren. Okay? That's vision. And that's being constructive. We build, we don't take, we don't steal. Okay? That's our tradition in this country. We build. We contribute. Okay? Questions, comments? That's a very strong tradition here we have in the West, where we build and we create and we invent. Yes. In everything we do, in all corners of our society, we all are pitching in, we all are, creating in our own small spheres. Yes. Questions, comments? Yes, Green.
Yeah, these days I feel like people are mostly only into like income streams. Like if they invest in something, they want return back, like money, things like that. So I don't know how to convince people to like invest in Mahayana, because I don't think normal people or most people would be able to see the benefits that come from it. But how can I help those people?
Don't worry. Don't worry about that. You don't worry about, you need to have more people contributing and propagating, helping propagate Mahayana. I'm not at that school. Okay, my master, my late Chinese master would say, you need all to pitch and so forth. I'm not worried about that. Okay, it's our jobs to educate you and tell you, yes, there is a proper way to invest in the future. Okay, and to create blessing for your children instead of just leaving money for your children. You should have another option. Leave them blessings. Oodles and oodles of blessings. Money can be stolen from them, can be wasted because they go into and gambling and wine and women, but blessings cannot be. That's important for them. That's our job to tell you that, and you need to be aware of that. But as far as Mahayana support, I'm really not worried, to be honest with you. Why not? What's the hurry? Hey, man. We only have 24 hours a day. I'm swamped already. Forget it. Hey, man. I'm overwhelmed. Okay, please, take it easy. My point here, I know, I'm joking a little bit, but my point here is that there are a lot of people, okay, who have that kind of wisdom. Okay, case in point, I make fun of him, but I will tell you right now before he dies, Buffett is one such person. He has wisdom. His wife. Can I tell you? Would you like to know? His wife, Susan Buffett, not the current wife. The current wife is second stage art. His current wife is only his second wife, second stage art. But the other wife Susan Buffet. It's a buffet. Okay. His other wife, Suzanne Buffet. Okay. She's what? Can I tell you? Would you like to know? She's dead now, so it's okay to reveal her. Not children, you stupid people. Fifth ground. I was shocked. Okay. Fifth ground. American woman. American woman! Fifth ground. That's what he said. She told him, he said, I have enough of you. You hear? You do your things, I do mine. I gave you 3 beautiful children and so forth, supported you all these years. I'm done. I'm going to do my own things now. My kind of woman. And she went and bought Pepsi shares. Buffett is Coca-Cola. Okay? There are plenty of people who have wisdom. Don't worry. We're fine. Okay, we're fine. When the time comes, they show. Have faith. Until then, let's take it easy, folks. What's the hurry? Enjoy life a little bit before it's too late. I'm kidding. Thank you all for coming. We stand up and do the rebirth transference now.